We could and we will get into the details, but I also think it's important to start at the beginning. First game of the Panthers Andy Dalton era took place on Sunday. Early results, positive.
Yeah, I'd say good.
Good.
I'd say great.
The early results coming back gangbusters. We could just start there.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, we will. Dave Canales after the win. I see. I'm not even used to saying it.
I know, it's weird.
We're saying after the game talks about the loss, but no, we after the win talks about how his team pulled through.
Great game. Really a group that really dove into the process, to the fundamentals, the work that we're looking for. Starting off this week, just stacking up 3 great days of practice. The coaches challenging guys, the guys challenging each other, and Sunday's about the players and putting them in position to have success. And they took advantage of that in different ways. And it was just a great picture of Panthers football, being able to run the ball, stopping the run, playing complementary football on third down, taking advantage of red zone opportunities, the whole thing, the coverage units, just flying around with great energy and chasing, which was just a carryover from a great week. So I just got to give props to the whole group of just continuing to trust this process. This is a great starting point for us to play our kind of football, and really excited to, get back home, get back to work, and have another great week.
And it was Andy Dalton. And there's no way to sugarcoat it. There's no way to hide it. The main difference in that game was Andy Dalton was at quarterback, and he hadn't been at quarterback previously, and they played much better. Now, I'm be the first to raise my hand and say, didn't see that coming.
Yeah. No one expected 300-plus yards.
I expected him to be the vet. Get the ball to where it's supposed to go, execute an offense. I thought Dave Canales would be more freed up as a play caller because he had the veteran that he trusted with every page of the playbook. It wasn't just Andy Dalton going to the right place. It wasn't just him making quick decisions. Dude made some throws.
Oh, yeah.
The touchdown to Deontay Johnson, not an easy throw. Mm-hmm. Not every impressive throw in the NFL has to be 60 yards on the run, laser rocket arm. Some of them are recognizing that you have to drop it into a 1 foot by 1 foot bucket over the top of closing defenders and doing it.
With a guy about to hit you?
With a guy about to hit you. That's the veteran thing. That's that I've been through a few of these battles before, and I know I'm going to stand up after him. Only one quarterback. See, it's not even like we could compare to Bryce Young, and we will, because that's how our brains work. And you watch it week 2, then you watch it week 3, and you go Dalton, Young, and it's all comparison. But there's only one quarterback in the NFL that has a 300-yard, 3-touchdown game so far in 2024. Andy Dalton. That's it. That's the NFL. 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. He's the one. You can't overstate how his play changed the way that the entire team operated. He made throws. The veteran presence. I thought this was interesting because everyone talked after the game about the veteran presence. The veteran presence. Even some players that I thought were brought in to be veteran presences talked about how Andy Dalton provided a veteran presence. Looking at you, Deontay Johnson. You're in year 6. We have that sound, I was just told. Dennis, hit it.
Vet presence period. Like, you got a veteran quarterback that's been in the game for a while, experience. You need a guy like that. That's going. That makes the offense play harder. Not saying we wasn't doing that with Bryce, but it's just like it's different when you got a vet because you know what to expect from, what you're getting. So it's like once we got out there between the lines, you seen that it was different when Andy was back there getting the ball out to the receivers. He was running the ball pretty well. Got to give good shout out to the O-line because they were doing a good job of holding up and blocking in the run game, and that allowed us to do our thing on the outside.
I thought it was interesting. Veteran presence. Oh, you're year 6. I thought you were the veteran presence for Bryce. But either way, obviously what that team needed was a more soothing, calming, been there, done that voice in the huddle. Andy Dalton, after the game, spoke about the feeling after getting a win in his first start in quite some time.
I mean, it felt great. Obviously, for me to get an opportunity to be out there and for it to go the way it did, couldn't have drawn it up any better. I thought our guys came out with the right attitude, the right mentality from the start, and we never slowed down. And that was the fun part about it. We didn't just put one drive together. We were able to do it the whole game. Played complementary football, and guys were having a ton of fun, and that's how it should be.
The fun was noticeable. The smiles were noticeable.
Bunch of grown men just giggling, having a good time.
And rightfully so. Like the amount of pent up, we have to look sad because we're playing so poorly, that has gone on for so long with Carolina. That must have felt like a sprinkler on a hot summer's day. You get to run through and just cool off for a second. You get to run through it and just bask in the glory of a win for a second. Now, like our job and fans, you're gonna project forward, right? You're gonna project Andy Dalton the MVP. You're gonna project now you're what, one game out of the lead of the division, and you're gonna project forward. Pump the brakes on that and enjoy the now. What did Dennis call it right when we signed on? A victory Monday. Enjoy it. If there's anything that a veteran would know, especially one like Andy Dalton, who early in his career won so gosh darn often and made it to 5 straight postseasons with the Bengals, and then has struggled inherently kind of the last 5 years, make no mistake about it, you got to enjoy the wins. The last time we saw Andy Dalton as a starter, it was, I believe, with New Orleans as the main starter, may have been Dallas, but he was a laughingstock. You remember the GIF? He threw an interception, I believe it was to the Cardinals, and
Yes.
He was walking away dejectedly. Meanwhile, in slow motion behind him, the defensive back, as he turns it into a pick six, did a slow motion Superman dive with the ball into the end zone. Andy Dalton knows it ain't always going to be like this.
My girlfriend's nephew reminded me of that yesterday watching the game. He's like, remember this?
I'm sure Andy Dalton wants to go back to a lot of people that have posted that and say, just see this?
Yeah.
See what happened this time? It's not always going to be like this. Enjoy it. It was fun. It was surprising. It was not what we expected, and it was a dominant win that even the 36-22 final score doesn't show how thoroughly dominant the Panthers were over the Las Vegas Raiders.
Threw on our YouTube live stream, threw a question out there for people. What was your favorite part of the Carolina Panthers win? Let us know. Forest City Kitty said the touchdown pass to Adam Thielen before halftime was a big one. Someone said love seeing Chuba Hubbard get 21 carries yesterday. Was a big fan of that. Also, the best part of the win, this also comes from Adam Lane, said the best part of the win was that the Panthers actually looked like a professional football team.
So you see how low the bar has fallen. They if you're just looking at 1 week, if you're just looking at one game, they didn't just look like an NFL football team. They look like a very, very good NFL
look like
football
a darn
team.
good football team. It's like, oh, okay.
Now that's a 1 week award because they're still 1-2 with 2 pretty hideous losses. But for 1 week, no arguing.
Hey, you're only one game out of first.
Only one game out of first.
Only one game out of first, baby.
And there's a lot of time to project, and there's a lot of time to do the football team math, which is, well, we play each of them. We control our own destiny. Like, there's a lot of time to do that. But for right now, you won.